Hi everyone, my name is Brooke Quirk and this is my fourth case study. There you go. The client I will be presenting on is a 6-year-old male with ASD. He is an only child and currently lives with his mom and dad. He is receiving both in-home and clinic-based services full-time and is not receiving any additional schooling or outside services such as speech, OT, things like that. The primary behavior of concern is elopement, which is operationally defined as any instance of the client leaving the therapy room without adult permission for any duration of time. After conducting an FBA and through direct observation, we determined the function and the behavior to be escape, while elopement was our primary behavior of concern. Crying and screaming and hitting were also behaviors that he displayed that were also maintained by that function of escape. So the intervention that we decided to select were rules for large group, functional communication training, and a token economy. So since we knew that the client had a tendency to elope from the therapy room when there was a demand placed or when he was required to engage in a non-preferred activity, we sort of assumed that this would happen when he was going to join the large group. So the large group class that we offer is to help simulate a classroom setting. So in this, the clients will learn about the weather, days of the week, and different activities that would be taught in either like a daycare or kindergarten setting. So because of this concern that we had, we created a rule sheet that we showed our client about a month prior to us starting large group. So this rule sheet was it's seen down here, so you can see it's quiet mouth, quiet hands, bottom stays on the seat, and we have to use our listening ears. So we would show a picture of the room, or we would walk past the room in the clinic, and we would show him these rules so that he could understand what was to be expected of him in the classroom. At the same time, we were also teaching him functional communication training to request for a break or to sort of stop whatever activity he was engaging in when he wanted to. So this would hopefully just kind of help promote that autonomy. And when we eventually started in large group, we implemented this token economy that you can see up here. So during this, the client would work for a number of activities. So this could be a break, as you see, or it could be he was really motivated by numbers or letters, kind of things like that, like physical numbers or physical letters. And when the client did not engage in any escape maintain behaviors and sort of followed those rules of the class, he would gain a star. And the frequency the client would obtain stars was on a fixed time interval of 1 minute to start. So 1 minute per star. So after 10 stars or 10 minutes, he was able to gain access to the reinforcer that he selected when we conducted a preference assessment. So the reason we selected this intervention is because the client's primary behavior was elopement. Also, he had the prerequisites for following rules. So receptive instructions, following multi-step instructions. He also could understand rules since mom and dad they use rules at home and they have a really like scheduled structure around the house. For example, like morning routines, bedtime routines, things like that. This client could also understand pictures, and he had an understanding kind of words and different things like that. So he knew what each step meant. So despite us finding great success with this intervention, the obstacles that we did come across were that the reinforcers that we were initially using, so the letters, the numbers, and then the break time, were becoming less motivating for him. So we were able to overcome this by instead of using just the conducting a preference assessment with only the numbers and letters and that option for a break, we ended up providing the client with many options and then conducted a preference assessment with those. So we used like spinner toys or different things that we knew he was kind of interested in, and then he could choose from those. So then the reinforcer didn't become satiated with it. So overall, the intervention was a success. By the end of the intervention, there was no elopement observed for the entirety of the large group. He would engage in the classroom activities, raise his hand, show that he was actually interested. And we noticed an increase in interactions with other peers, which was a very tough thing for him at the start. He didn't enjoy interacting with others, didn't really enjoy having people close to him. So it was a huge step. And it just goes to show the importance of functional communication and kind of using those highly preferred reinforcers. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for listening to my presentation.